Alright, y'all. Today I'm gonna show you what kind of stuff I use for trapping. Just a general once over. Pack right here is a Alice Pack bag that I got a 5-gallon bucket inside it. But it's a bag from an Alice Pack that I got a 5-gallon bucket inside, and I got some containers on the outside. You can see. And one cool thing about these Alice Packs, here, I gotta adjust the camera. But one cool thing about them is in the top right here, you can open it. So I stick some stuff down in there too, so if you didn't know that and you're using an Alice Pack, that's a good thing. I also sewed these little buckles on here so that spin around right here. I can just clamp it shut, so you can see, and then there's another one under here which doesn't get used very often, but to undo it, all I do is unclip that and flip it up. I'm thinking about taking this string out, but I probably won't, just because it helps keep the bucket in. Instead of a metal piece on the back, it wouldn't fit with the bucket inside there, so I had to take it off. So now I just put the straps on these little pieces right here that actually held the bag to the metal support on the back, and then I connect them to the regular straps that they were made for. But one other little addition that I put on here is this string right here with a carabiner on the end. You can see. So I'll go up, wrap this around the tree if the ground's wet, and just clip it in. Then it'll hold on to a tree. So with this still being around my hand, I can lift that bag up, and it'll stay around that tree, so my bag won't get all wet. And I mean, it really don't matter since I got that bucket in there, but it kind of helps eliminate some rusting. Anyway, so there's that. So we'll go ahead and go over the traps real quick. So I'll move this over here to the side. First off, didn't really mean for this to be in the video, but anyway, one good tool to have is this. It's just a little hand swager. You can see it has all these little gaps and stuff right here. So right here, hang on. Alright, you can see it's got all these little gaps and stuff right here, and then on the side, here, wait, I'm gonna undo it. It's got a cable cutter, so you can put your cable in right there, and then you close it. But you close it like that, and it'll cut your cable for you. So that's a real good thing to have. I think these were actually pretty expensive. They were, I think, $30, but well worth it, especially if you're gonna make your own snare, so you don't just have to hammer them ferrules down. So anyway, here, let me get you all set up here, and I'll tell you about what we're using. Alright, this is everything that I use right here. Start off with, we'll go smallest to biggest for my traps. One thing that's not here right now is a dog. I use the Duke dog-proof traps. I'm ordering a dozen of them. I got 2 of them laying around here somewhere. I just can't find them. My garage is a mess. But anyway, I use Duke #1 with an extra center swivel in it and double stake swivel on the end. I use a 1.5 coil spring. Again, Duke. I like Duke for coil springs anyway. I know it's all rusty, but that's just because it's one of my water traps, and they're cheap enough that I'll just buy another dozen if they rushed out, which will be a long time from now anyway. But I use Bridger 155 Cold Springs. They're the biggest on land body grip trap that we can have. I use a Duke 160 Conibear. I'd rather it be Bridger, but Dukes are cheap and they make a decent trap. So I'll put this like in a pocket set in the water or something. If I don't want to, say if I'm in a place that has like a lot of population or whatever, so people are coming around, maybe somebody else is trapping around the same area, so I don't want them seeing my coon squirming around or anything from a foothold in the water. So I'll just throw this in for a pocket set, and my coon just be laying there dead and warm when I come get it. And the last thing I use is snares. I pre-make these. I got an extra video on how to make them. I think I'm gonna make a different video. So, because that was one of the first videos I've ever made, and the video quality is not that good, and it's raining in the video, so all you hear the whole time is the rain hitting the umbrella that I got covering the camera. So, next we'll go to tools. Okay, yeah. I use this for dryland trapping. It's just a Army entrenchment tool. It's made by SOG. Good piece of equipment, and you can see by what I did is it folds up like that, and it actually has a little pouch that you can keep it in. I don't keep it in the pouch, but it's not just a shovel. You can flip it over and it'd be kind of like a hole punch, or you can go like that and it'd be a pick. So real good little tool to have. And again, that's my dryland situation. That's my dryland shovel. For like river trapping, I just use this. I think I got this at Ollie's. It was like $4 or $5 maybe. I don't know, but just a nice little shovel. It's probably 2.5 feet long. It's real good for digging your pocket sets and all that. I'd much rather pay $4 or $5 for that than 20 for one of those little teeny trowels or whatever. And if you wanted to, you can just cut that down and make it one of them. Next thing I got is one of these little folding saws. It's not no Baco Laplander, I think that's what they are. These real high dollar ones. It's like a $2 one. I don't know. Real cheap, simple, easy. Doesn't break. And if it does, it's only $2 or $3 anyway, so you can just go buy a new one real quick. So good, and it has a little like knife edge up here, so it's good for like cutting little string or whatever if you need to. So I did that. Sorry, but speaking of cutting, go ahead. Got this little hatchet. Repainted it. I could probably get a new handle for it, but I'll do that whenever this one breaks. Fairly sharp, and it's good for the trap line. You can break ice with it. You can do all sorts of stuff. So that's a very good tool to have. Even if you don't have this saw, it's always nice to have a little hatchet. Yeah, 2.5 pound mini sledge for driving up mistakes. Actually, yeah, this is 2.5 pound. You can see it's all rusted up because I didn't have that pack with that piece in it, so I was just carrying around like a bag. And set this thing down. Well, you can see where that went. This thing's called the Groundhog. It has a digging blade up here, hammer, and then it has a dirt hole trowel thing. That's really that's another reason I have that 2.5 pound mini sledge, so I can put this on for my dirt hole and I can just hammer this thing in. I make my own steaks. Gotta have a steak driver, right? So, made my own steak driver. Okay, I had a guy ask me about this. I don't know. It was on my disposal. It was on how to make a pogo steak. I think that's what it was. I don't know what the name of it was. But guy asked me to make a video on how to make this. But I'll just show you real quick. Flip the screen around here because I can't see what I'm doing. But anyway, all I did, this piece of 5/8 inch rebar, and you can see I cut a groove down the middle of it, right there, and you can see that groove's fairly big, and then I cut a little sloped side on that one, and then on this side it's just a little edge. And here, hang on, let me get one of these things for you. I'll just use this one, I guess. But anyway, so this is a pogo anchor. It's actually on the end of the snare, but pogo anchor. You can get your washer, put it down in that deep groove. Get your J hook so that the part that you bended is facing toward the top of the driver, and then, well, actually, no, sorry, other way. So it's facing away from the driver, and then there you go. That's how. And then you can see that's how you drive that thing in. And then once you're done, it'll be in like this. You pull this out, and then you pull it up, and that seats the steak. So there's your little short segment on how to make one of them. If you need to know, if you're watching this, I don't remember what your name is. So yeah, you're gonna put this back here. Well, okay. Next tool is these little trimmers. The pruners, I think that's what they're called. These things will cut anything up to 3/4 to an inch thick. So real nice little nice little half. And here, I'll just show you right here's a 1/2 inch dowel rod. You can see I can cut through it like butter. It's like nothing. So nice tool to have, especially for snaring. So you can cut that brush around your area real easy to provide blocking. Next, setters for your body grips. You can see they got these little hooks in here. That's what hooks into to the spring of your body grip trap, or conveyor, whatever you want to call them, to so you can compress the spring and actually set the trap. This is a piece of equipment. Sifter, mostly for dry land trapping. You can see it's got little holes in there, but so you can sift the rocks and leaves out of your dirt. And guys, you can make a lot of this. Like this sifter, I've made one of these. These are the things that I'm getting to right now. I make these. These are supports for your body grip traps. You just compress the springs on your body grip, and then you just put the ends of it on. There's little tabs that are sticking up, and guys, you can get your body grip trap, and you can turn the whole thing upside down with it. In fact, how cheap them things were. This is only half the sheet. This is a foot across by probably a foot long. It was a foot across by 2 foot long. You can see $6.28. No, okay. That thing right there, that cost $2 $2.25 for a 2 foot by 1 foot of it. And yes, this thing right here makes 3 dozen of them little supports. All you gotta do after you make them, get your little black spray paint and just spray paint the tops of them. You don't have to spray paint the bottom of them because that's gonna be in the ground. All you gotta do is spray paint the top. Next thing, we'll just go random. I use a piece of PVC. PVC is good for, well, you can make a PVC set with it. What you do is you get this, put it in the bank. So say that this is in the bank. This is how much is hanging out right here. You put your trap right here in the water below it. You put your bait right in there. You don't even have to bed your trap. Whenever that coon comes along, coon or mink, this will take mink too. Whenever they come in to try to get that bait, they're going to end up stepping in that trap. Now, whenever you use bait, guys, let's talk about that for a minute. Whenever you use bait, you don't want to use like just one chunk. You want to use stuff like multiple chunks for your bait. Like I use fish. I use like sardines and tuna and stuff. So whenever that comes in a can anyway, and as soon as you pull them out of the can, it's multiple chunks. Like it just breaks apart. So you put all that broken up fish or whatever you got, cat food, that'll work. You put that back there in that tube, about 1.5 inches, 2 inches, and that coon's gonna be working at that set and to try to get that bait, and he'll end up stepping in your pan. And if you got a slide wire on it, so it's just a drowning rig, that coon will go out there on that drowning rig trying to, because it knows it can get away if it goes that way, so it'll get away from your trap. From your set. So, and it won't tear up your set too bad. It might move 1 or 2 things, but that's just when it gets caught, because it'll flip around a little bit and then it'll just take off. I got trail camera pictures of it. But yeah, piece of PVC. I usually keep 3 or 4 pieces of this in my bucket at all times, just because you never know when you might get that steep bank, so you can plug one of these in real fast, easy set to do. Especially if you don't use a drowning rig, so all you gotta do is wire off to a tree and you're good. So real good thing to have, and cheap too. Like we just had some 2-inch PVC lying around the house, so I just grabbed a couple pieces of it and threw it in my bag, like little scraps and stuff from projects. If you're doing anything, just grab a couple of the scrap pieces. They only have to be 6 to 8 inches long. A lot of people, they go, oh no, it needs to be like 2 foot long. Well, why? That just means it's just going to be that much harder to get out of the bank whenever you're done. You only have to bury it about 3 inches into the bank. This is probably a 6-piece of PVC right here. Wait, probably 8, but about an 8-inch piece of PVC. You only had to bury it 3-4 inches, and then you got the rest to put your bait. There's going to be mud and stuff in there, but it'll only be in the bag. So again, cheap, easy, good way to make a set. Guys, you got to remember an acronym. It is KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. It basically means just don't do hard stuff. The animal's gonna come to it regardless anyway. It should if you make it well enough. But just don't overwork yourself while you're out there. That coon or coyote, fox, whatever is gonna come to that set. If it smells that, you just gotta make sure it's bedded firmly or camouflaged or whatever type of trap you're using. Just remember that acronym. I read that in a book. It's Guide to Trapping by Jim Spencer. I think that's what it is. But if you guys haven't read that and you're just now getting into trapping, that's a real good book to read. He's got a lot of good tips stuff in there. In fact, I hear a lot of that stuff from other people, other trappers anyway. So, good book to read if you're not around a lot of other trappers. Good thing to read. Alright, well, let's get back to it. I don't want to make this video too horribly long. I know it's probably going to be like 30-45 minutes anyway, so next thing, I already talked about snares. So, okay, fastening, stakes, all that sort of stuff. I use these in rivers. Just about a 3-foot piece of rebar. Now, I'm going to weld a washer to the end of all these. I got 4 or 5 of them in my bucket. Well, I got 4 of them in my bucket. My bucket's back there, right there. But anyway, I'm going to weld a washer to the top of these. And then probably one of those 2-inch fender washers. I got enough of them, I mean, good lord. So, stake number 1, 3-inch piece of rebar. This is for my drowning rig, so this is going to go in the middle of the river. So it has to be deep. It has to be fairly long, not too horribly long. Alright. Next thing, if it's a real rocky ground in the middle of the river, and so you don't want to have to put a drowning stake in there, I use big old plate. Found a pile of these things down in the woods, so I grabbed 3 or 4 of them, brought them up here in the garage, and well, they're laying over there on my trapping stuff, and the rest of it. So, next thing, these. Oh, well, there goes my wire. But 12-inch galvanized nails. I pound these about 6 inches into a log. If I got a snare or whatever by a log or something, pound these about 6 inches into a log. There ain't no way kite pulling that thing out. I still got a snare down in the river. Well, as we speak, I couldn't get it out of the log. I had to cut my snare off. Sorry, I don't have a snare down there. I just got the nail. Okay, next thing I use, let me unwind it here real quick. You probably already guessed it, extension cable. Boom. This is a real long one. This one's probably 5 foot. But anyway, all that it is that this double ferrule, it's not even pounded down. You can see all I did was I got a stop button on the end of it, and then so that lets me make this loop as big as I want it or as small as I want it. So put that on both ends, put this in around your trap, this in around a tree. So let's say there's a tree in the middle, all you gotta do is go like that. So let's say my arm's the tree, it's around the tree, fasten this into your trap and you're good to go. And then, hang on, I said it a minute ago, wire. I use 14 gauge wire. I know this wire is not the best in the world, but that's only serpent's rust. That just wipes right off. Alright, so that's no big deal. I need to get some trapping pliers, well, Kleins if you don't know what they really are, but yeah, so I need to get a pair of pliers. You can see last time I used this I had to just like wiggle it off so it heated up enough. That was not hard. It was 20 degrees outside, so I mean that was not easy. It was 20 degrees outside, and well, things don't get very hot when it's 20 degrees outside. Yeah. That's pretty much it, guys. So, yeah. Let me know what you think. Comment, rate, subscribe, all that good jazz. Hey, there's a light. But, anyway, so comment, rate, subscribe, all that crap. And, I'm getting ready to make a video about what baits and lures I use, so stay tuned for that. And that should be up whenever this video is up. I'm going to download them, but at the same time. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. I'm going to make a video on my catch pole and my well, that's basically all the stuff that I use. That's mainly what I use for everything. But I mainly coon trap, coyote trap too. So coon, coyote, fox. Haven't got very much into bobcat. I'm hoping to catch one. I've seen 3 of them now on hunt property. So hunting / trapping property, I guess. So yep. Let me know what you think, guys. All right. See you later.